Hello everybody and welcome back to the second shelf. It's the beginning of June, so it's time for my June TBR, and for those of you who are new to the channel, on my channel, TBR doesn't mean to be read, but to be released. So each month, beginning of each month, I pick a couple of new releases that sound interesting to me in the hope that they might sound interesting to you as well. And yes, I'm filming with a different computer. This is my AirBook, because the other computer does strange things today. It's probably too hot. I have no idea how the quality of the sound and the picture is when you watch it on YouTube. So let me know whether it's okay, so I know that I can use this computer if I don't have the other one. Anyway, straight on to the books. I picked 4 this time. And the first is a literary fiction, a debut novel. As you know, I'm always interested to find new authors, new writers, new voices. So I always try in my to-be-released video to include at least one debut novel. And this month's pick is Sally Rooney, Conversation with Friends. It will be released in the UK beginning of June. And it might already have been released the 30th of May. And if my information is correct, the US release will be a little later, end of June, beginning of July. I came across this novel by chance and I requested it from the publisher who kindly sent it to me, but I haven't read it yet. Sally Rooney is an Irish writer. I couldn't find out much more about her apart from the fact that she's born in 1991, so she's in her late 20s, and that this book is obviously her first novel. It's about a female couple, 2 students, Frances and Bobby. Frances is a poetry student in Dublin, and they encounter an older married couple. And the story takes off from there. And from what I read, it sounded a bit like a Liaison Dangereuse kind of story. It intrigued me, and I saw a pretty good review in The Guardian, which I will link down below, and that sparked my interest as well. So Conversations with Friends is my debut pick for this month. And the second book is in the category crime mystery. I have to see where I have to look. I'm sorry about all this. Anyway, crime mystery, and I came across this book first when it was unpacked by Steve Donahue in one of his famous mail hauls, and he read the blurb, and I was immediately hooked. But maybe I should tell you the name of the book and the author. Gin Phillips' Fierce Kingdom. It will come out towards the end of June in the UK, and it's about Joan and her 4-year-old son, and they are in the zoo. It's almost closing time, and then they go towards the exit, and there Joan sees something which makes her so fearful that she starts running. And for 3 hours, and that's the scope of the novel, she keeps running with her son. I thought that premise sounded so intriguing, like in a zoo, in a confined space, and probably with all the animals. I have no idea because I haven't read it yet. And then 3 hours. So I like I said, I was hooked. And I thought I have to read it. Gin Phillips, by the way, is an American author, and she has written previous novels and also middle grade books. I hadn't heard of her, I have to admit, before this one, so this will be my first encounter with The Fierce Kingdom by Gin Phillips. And the third book of my June TBR is a nonfiction book. And that's Souad Mekhennet, I Was Told to Come Alone, My Journey Behind the Lines of the Jihad. Now, Souad Mekhennet is a German-born journalist. She was born in 1978 in Frankfurt, and she is known for her investigative work, especially into terrorism. She wrote not only for German newspapers, and she did television in Germany, but also for the Washington Post and for the New York Times. She wrote about Nazi camps, and she wrote about homegrown terror. And this book, written originally in English, will come out the 13th of June, and it's just what the title says. Mekhennet traveled from Germany. She started her investigation in Germany, but then she traveled to the Syrian border. She met ISIS people. I should probably also add she speaks the language because she is of a Moroccan Turkish descent. So that gave her access, I guess, but it's, of course, I admire the fearlessness. And I'm really interested to read this because you have so little account of people actually involved in groups like ISIS that journalists would actually speak with them. So I'm really excited about this, and I hope it will live up to my expectations. So I was told to come alone by Souad Mekhennet. And the last book is, you know me, of course, science fiction. I have to have a new release in science fiction every month. I didn't find anything immediately, and what I then do always, and if you're a science fiction fan, I urge you to do as well, is I go to the Tor website and look at their new releases, because Tor hardly ever disappoints. So this month's pick is Laura Lamb, Shattered Minds. Laura Lamb was born in the United States, but she relocated in her early 20s, I think, to Scotland, where she lives now with her husband and son. She writes science fiction, also young adult. I wanted to read her novel from last year, False Hearts, and somehow I never did. So when I saw this one, a new Laura Lamb, I thought this is the one for the June to be released. The premise is that we follow a main character, Karina. She is an ex-neuroscientist, and she underwent some brain mapping experiment which went wrong because she turned in a sort of Dexter figure with uncontrollable urges to kill people. And in order to control these urges, she takes a certain medication so that she can live out her urges in dreams. So that's the premise, and the book, obviously, as the blurb says, is then her journey in order to try to find out the truth and get well. I thought it sounded brilliant. I like a strong female character, and certainly in science fiction. And as I said, it's a Tor book. Coming out, by the way, the middle of June, 15th of June. So I'm excited about this one. So this was it on this very, very hot June day. My June TBR to be released. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments whether any of the books did catch your fancy, or whether there are any other new releases in June that you are excited about. And I'll see you all again soon in my next video. Bye bye.